Send share. Post to your profile. Share via email. Report story. Let us all appreciate. I see, Sanji said. He had now stopped cooking dinner so he could take part to the conversation. Well, that might actually work seeing how Hancock would do literally anything for Luffy. She might as well fight the Marines, despite her position, and let us advance. As expected from my dear Nami Swan. He then yelled with heart-shaped eyes while going back to his steak. Why yeah, Nami hardly spoke while swallowing air in order to reduce the pressure that felt like it was going to make her head explode. She had a storm of feelings all coming from the one that took over her mind and soul for a while now. Luffy's hands that had now slipped from her shoulders on her waist, his soft lips that only lightly touched her neck and his slow breathing that tickled the soft skin that kept all those feelings locked inside, all these made the orange-haired girl struggle more than ever to keep her attention awake and concentrate on what the others were saying. God damn it, what's gotten into him doing all these things now of all times? He makes it so hard for me to concentrate. She took a deep breath to keep her senses. Is he just toying with me? No, he's Luffy. He's far too innocent for these things, so why could this be just the way he feels? Although, this seems just as unbelievable, but still. Nami. Robin's voice snapped her out of her thoughts, making her startle in embarrassment. Why yeah, what were you saying? We were just about to give you our coordinates, Usopp said. Nami, are you feeling alright? You seem kinda off to me, at least, Chopper worryingly asked. Are you sick? No, I'm fine, she giggled. It's just that, a night spent out in cold and on the sand made me tired, I guess, she tried to cover up for herself, laughing awkwardly. Say, Sanji, Luffy grinned widely, I found on this island some huge beasts that taste awesome. I'll hunt down plenty until you guys get here so you could cook them all, he then laughed. He could feel Nami's heart now, as his head was back to resting on her chest. He smiled innocently when realizing that her heartbeat didn't seem any different to him, as it matched his racing heart. Carrot, carrot, carrot. Well, Sabo, what do you think about those two? Koala excitingly asked the blonde man. They had already given the order and were now making preparations so the ships could leave as soon as they received the coordinates. Aren't they cute? She then giggled. When I first met them, I didn't think Luffy could be cuter, that until I saw him acting around Nami. I barely held back from hugging them when seeing just how in love they both are. Did you notice that Luffy never let go of Nami's hand even after he convinced her not to leave the table? How can they be so cute? I wanna squish them to bits. How are you more excited than I am? Sabo laughed while watching his friend fangirling over his little brother, and he giggled when seeing her smile like that. But they're so precious. I ship them. I know, Sabo smiled while tapping her head. Oh, that's right. Tell the cook to start making dinner. Already, but it's only 6 p.m., the orange-haired girl asked while checking her pocket watch. Don't you underestimate Luffy's appetite, the blonde man laughed. Promoted stories. You'll also like Luffy's Jealousy 73.2k 1.5k pairings. Luffy x Nami. What if the infamous Mugiwara crew docked on an unknown island? What if Nami had forgot? A pirate with 1 punch 44.3k 1.7 Kone. Peace XOPM. Reader. And quat. YN and quat. Degree. Filled circle, hollow circle degree. Degree. Do you see me the same way I do? Luffy x Na. 0.53.5k 844. After the long drawn-out fight with Kaido, the captain of the Beast Pirates and one of the Emperors of the Sea, Luffy and Zoro wake up from their long battles, making a Two-piece. A one-piece story 7.7K 387 embarking on a shared odyssey that intertwines their destinies, Monkey D. Shiki and Monkey D. Luffy set forth on a singular, awe-inspiring quest. Bound by the unbreakable, what's your choice going to be? Zoro x Tash, 48,337 with Tashigi getting left behind by the G5 due to the Joker sending too many ships for the G5 and the Strafuts to handle. They have to figure out a escape to get to TH. Gorgeous Blue, One Piece live action, Nami 25.2K1K and Quad. Ocean. Blue eyes looking in mine, I feel like I might sink and drown and die. And Quad. A simple girl, daughter of a pirate captain, meets the future and Quad, king. The God Fruit One Piece 27.5K 665. The Straw Hat Pirates, after defeating Doflamingo, depart from their newfound friends and make their way back into the New World. They end up on a small summer island sea. But still, it's only been half of hours since he last ate. Like I said, Sabo giggled, there's not a thing about Luffy you should underestimate. Carrot carrot carrot. Alright, then, Brooke said as he got ready to hang up, remember not to call us as we might be with Hancock Sands crew. Yeah, I know. Be sure to keep this all a secret from her, too, Nami spoke, then quickly hung up. That 5 minutes conversation felt like an eternity to her, and now that it finally ended, she wanted to punch Luffy, but her muscles softened. She wanted to push him away, but she knew she'd feel empty then. She wanted to hug him back and even kiss him, but she knew she couldn't do that either. Nami tilde Luffy cried, I'm hungry. Do you think we can go eat again? Just wait a little longer, Luffy. God damn it, why does he have to be so cute? I'm sure dinner will be ready soon. Yeah, he pouted. You're so warm, he then said with a barely noticeable blush. Not only she was warm, she also had a smell, a really nice one that had always attracted Luffy for a reason or another. The orange-haired girl let out a giggle when Luffy's nose tickled her neck. He loved that too, that sound of her laughing. He lifted his head to see her smiling face that was more precious to him than all the treasures in the world. Lifting one hand up and slowly placing it on one of her checks, all he could think about was just how much he loved her. He loved everything about her. From her big, so kind heart to her obsession over money. Everything. He thought that it wasn't possible to love and care for someone as much as he ended up loving his navigator. Thinking about it a little, actually, you could say that he reached that point where he could talk for an eternity about his feelings and not even get close to fully expressing what he truly felt. That beautiful word he once thought to describe perfectly what he felt for Nami wasn't nearly enough now to put his feelings into words. Love. What a simple word it suddenly seemed to him. Koala's voice from behind the door forced Luffy to reality, and he was shocked to see just how close his face was to Nami's. He didn't even realize he had gotten so close to her, their lips now being only millimeters away. They quickly separated, each of them trying their best to slow their racing hearts down and to hide the visible blush that was imprinted on their faces. The second Koala entered the room, she felt the tension between the two and smirked for herself before speaking. Come with me, we've prepared rooms for the both of you, she smiled. After that, Nami, you should go to Sabo's office and help figure out the position of your crew. They nodded and quietly followed her to their rooms. None of them said anything. Not even Luffy, which was odd enough, anyway, and Koala, walking a few steps ahead, couldn't stop wondering what happened when they were alone. She was now praising herself for choosing their rooms like that. You must be kidding me, Nami thought as they were now in their rooms. Not only they were next to each other, but the rooms even connected through a door that was placed on the common wall. Putting that aside, they were spacious with big, soft beds and a balcony. I've also prepared a change of clothes for each of you, so take your time and change. Dinner's almost ready too, Koala said before closing the door. Luffy and Nami were now each in their room, only separated by a thin wall. The first thing they did was to quietly sit on the bed and look, they didn't even know where. I almost did it again, Luffy said to himself while crossing his legs and arms. It became so hard to hold back. This time I didn't even realize what I was doing. Ah, damn, I bet she's mad at me now. Carrot carrot carrot. What the hell was just about to happen? What's gotten into him, really? Damn that Luffy making all these things. I can't figure out what's going on in that head of his, really. Nami said to herself, completely unaware of Luffy's feelings. Truth be told, she started suspecting that he might like her, but she would always shut those thoughts in, knowing it'd most probably be impossible. But why else would he do all these if not because he really likes me? She hardly pronounced those words while blushing uncontrollably. She lifted one of her hands and placed it over the cheek Luffy touched not too long ago. She remembered looking into his eyes that were shining brighter than ever in that moment, as he slowly, almost unnoticeable, reduced the distance between them. She thought it looked like he didn't even realize what he was doing, like his movements and gestures were all dictated by the instincts he trusted so much, and she couldn't stop asking herself what that would mean. She stood up, shook her head and entered the bathroom attached to her room. It wasn't big, but you couldn't see a stain of dirt. It was so white and clean. She bent over a little and splashed her face with cold water, then wiped her skin with the towel she found next to the sink. Looking in the mirror in front of her, she could see that her face was still burning red. Her heart only barely slowed down a bit. God damn it. Snap out of it already. She scolded herself while coming out of the bathroom. I've gotta go help Sabo locate the others. This is no time to be fawning over my stupid captain's actions, she then said, trying to encourage herself to forget what happened, even though she knew very well it wasn't going to be that easy. Grabbing the new clothes Koala prepared for her, she quickly changed and went out of her room, heading for Sabo's office. Asterisk. Well, this should be it. That's where they are right now. They told me they're heading for this island, Nami said while pointing a small island on the map, so they should be easy to find. That's good, Sabo agreed. I'll give the order and by tomorrow morning, the ships should meet up with them. Let's just hope that Hancock is really going to play in our hands. It's fine, from what Luffy and the others, who have met her, told me, she should be able to give up on seeing him and let our crew advance, instead. Here, she made a short pause. I wanted to meet her, though. These words of hers caught Sabo's attention. Why's that? I wanted to thank her, she then said with a small smile on her face. From what Luffy told us, she helped him a lot when we weren't there for him, she continued, holding back the tears that threatened to fall. I don't know what kind of person she truly is, but as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't even matter. She did a lot for Luffy, and so, first the least I can do is express a few words of gratitude. I see, the blond man smiled. I'm so glad, he then grinned. Glad to see that Luffy has people like you caring for him. The orange-haired girl let a small, yet so meaningful smile imprint on her face. If only you'd know. Right now, I bet you thought, if only I'd know how much you actually care, am I right, huh? How did you? I know. He laughed. You two really don't know how to hide your feelings. Is it that obvious? What does he mean by, you two? He wouldn't mean Luffy feels the same, right? Kinda. Now, let's go take Luffy and head for dinner. You, you know what? You should go look for him. I'm gonna go ahead. Nami startled when hearing Luffy's name. How would he act around me now? How am I supposed to act? Do we just pretend nothing happened? Could something have happened between you two? Sabo asked with a grin on his face, making Nami's face turn red. We didn't. I am mean. Luffy should be the one to tell you, she said before going out of the room like a storm, wishing to escape the embarrassing situation. Sabo was left behind smirking to himself while watching the orange-haired girl walk away. Then, as he turned around to head for his brother's room, he spoke as his smirk widened. This sure is interesting. Here's a Luna pic too. Okay, I just wanted Koala to have the Bardo attitude. Well guys, I RLLY hope you like this cause I'm honestly pretty proud of this one. See ya next time. Where stories live. Discover now.